Multimodal systems fail across modalities: wrong OCR, mismatched audio, or text that ignores the image. Evals must span those links. This AiQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for multimodal eval basics in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: align, probe, score, and guard. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: enterprise multimodal apps touch documents, screenshots, and calls. Single modality metrics miss cross-modal grounding errors. Practical multimodal evals reduce costly misreads in operations. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Cross-modal grounding. Check that text claims match image or audio evidence. Cross-modal hallucinations are common. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: Modality-specific oracles. Use OCR gold, transcript gold, and visual attributes where available. Mix automatic and human checks. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Perturbation tests. Add noise, crop, rotate, or accent variation. Robustness matters in the field. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Latency budgets. Multimodal pipelines are heavier: eval latency and cost with quality. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Privacy handling. Protect faces, badges, and voice PII in eval datasets. Governance applies to media too. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Fallback behavior. Test what happens when a modality is missing or unreadable. Graceful degradation is a feature. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: claims organization extracting facts from accident photos plus adjuster notes. Text-only evals looked fine, but multimodal probes showed the model inventing vehicle colors not in images. Teams added grounding checks and perturbation tests for dark photos. Privacy redaction was required for license plates in the eval set. Release gates now include a multimodal pack. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: Evaluating only the text channel of a multimodal system. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: Ignoring field noise like blur, crop, and accents. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: Storing sensitive media in eval sets without controls. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: Assuming missing modality behavior is obvious without tests. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline: small gold sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: Score cross-modal grounding explicitly. Takeaway 2: Include perturbations and privacy controls. Takeaway 3: Budget latency and cost with quality. Takeaway 4: Test missing modality fallbacks. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: create 25 cross-modal cases where text must be supported by image or audio evidence. Then, add a privacy checklist for any media used in eval datasets. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AiQualtest method, learn the foundations with AiVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit aiqualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes. Additional depth for practitioners: treat Multimodal Eval Basics as a controlled experiment. Version the inputs, freeze the environment where possible, record who approved exceptions, and rerun after every material change, model upgrade, prompt edit, retrieval index refresh, or tool permission change. Pair quality metrics with latency, cost, and safety signals so trade-offs are visible to product owners. When results regress, open an incident-style review even if the feature still looks fine in a demo. Governed teams prefer boring, evidence-backed releases over surprising wins that cannot be reproduced.